last video we used a taser to fix my cooking problems, but there's still tons more problems. I mean, I'm sitting here making videos, like there are clearly more problems. Now unfortunately that would just lead us to another problem being, how do I identify problems? And because I really don't feel like keeping the bit going, well, this is a terrible idea, isn't it? And if the last 30 seconds of cinematic mastery didn't get the point straight to you, I'm gonna tase myself every time I take damage and leave the company. So you might be thinking, isn't that incredibly easy? All you have to do is just create like one file for the lethal company, one file for doing other things, and then just make the taser and then you're done. Well, unfortunately, all those things break down to about 16 different side tasks, 6 different flavors, and a new mental disease. So let's begin. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to load up our existing health mod, which, oh by the way, is Health Metrics by Matsura. And we're going to load this up using Visual Studio. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole coding method, but as you can see in the background here, I'm scrolling through and I'm probably going to be highlighting some like important stuff that I added. That's just going to be some important information for debugging. Now, the next thing that I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to use this wonderful tool named ILSpy to go into the actual game files for Lethal Company and figure out what files and what classes, if you know what coding is, classes, and actually figure out what controls player damage. This will be incredibly helpful for coding. As you can see, I have this custom DLL in my mod folder, and what this is my packaged up mod, because with mods you have to package them into a format where the game can read it, however unfortunately the player can't read it, or whoever's using the computer. Anyway, what this mod does is that it keeps track of whenever I take damage using the functionality provided by the Health Metrics mod that I sort of copied and stole. It's fine. And it relays a signal over a server on my computer to another file that I can get access to, which is now we're segueing to Python. Ooh. So whenever the Python file receives over the magical computer connection that I took damage in Lethal Company, it'll then send some information over to Arduino saying, hey, he took damage, do something. Finally, in this Arduino file, whenever it receives the information from a Python file that I took damage and that it needs to do something, it'll go and open up a connection and then close the connection maybe a couple times. I don't know, I was messing around with it to like see what's most optimal for initiating the tase, and it'll execute on that, hopefully tasing me. So now, unfortunately, I don't really have much content for the actual production of the device itself, because in all reality, it was like 10 hours of soldering, unsoldering, resoldering, and trying to figure out what's going on because this stupid circuit board, it's sucked and it kept on short-circuiting, and I hate it so much. Anyway, it's really simple. You got the Arduino there, you got the little taser device there, the wires poking out of it are just heading over to a relay that's to create like a digital access to the button to play and pause the tase, because it's like a muscle stimulator thing, and the relay is there just so that it can like facilitate opening a connection for the wires. So pretty simple. So just to quickly explain what's going on here, in the top left we have Lethal Company, self-explanatory. In the top right we have the actual taser unit. In the bottom left we have the terminal for the code that I'm running. This will actually show whenever it receives a signal that I've been damaged. In the bottom right you've got me. Command, and I have the taser right there. Maybe this should send me down to 50 HP. And yeah, let's give it a go. All right. So yeah, I can confirm it works. All right, so I've decided to bump up the intensity a little bit, just so I can I don't know, maybe I'll feel my legs get broken through my arm. Anyway, let's just give it a shot. Holy crap. Oh. Anyway, I know it wasn't much, but I wanted to make this video a little bit more entertaining than the last one, a little bit more fast-paced. So tell me how I did down in the comments. Suggest any more possible future projects. I've been thinking of doing my own Google Glasses. Who knows? And if anybody wants like a full explanation of the code, just leave a comment down below, and I'll do like a full project explanation, because I mean I have all the footage. It would just be like a 30-minute long video, and I don't think anybody really wants to see it that bad.